British Prime Minister David Cameron is in Scotland today in a push to convince the public there to vote no in the upcoming independence referendum. Well, he implored Scots to keep the United Kingdom family, as he referred to it, intact in an opinion piece published in the Daily Mail. But Cameron tempered the family appeal with a clear warning that any parting would be permanent. Well, if Scotland votes for independence, Cameron's job may be on the line ahead of a national election planned for May 2015. And with me now is our London correspondent, Jonathan Sacerdoti. Thank you for joining us here this evening.
Good to be with you.
So, Jonathan, recent polls this week have indicated more or less 50-50 split on this issue. It's hard to get a real read on what the people will decide this week. Now, you being there, now, what's the feeling among the people around you? Do you have a sense that this has support or not so much?
Well, I'm based here in London at the moment, and the interesting thing about this is that we have no say in what happens, even though, of course, the rest of the United Kingdom will be affected by the decision to split Scotland off for independence, should that be the decision they make. As you say, the latest polls are showing around a 47-53 split in favour of staying together, but that's such a close-run thing that all three main Westminster party leaders have gone to Scotland today in a last-ditch attempt to convince the electorate there of the emotional reasons to stay together in the Union.
It seems a bit like fear among politicians now, chasing up north to try to convince people not to vote yes.
Some have suggested that, including Alex Salmond, Scotland's First Minister, who suggested that the fact that they've all ditched their commitments here and cancelled Prime Minister's questions in Westminster in order to go there and talk to the electorate in Scotland shows their fear. Of course, they argue instead that they're showing their devotion to Scotland. David Cameron speaking in very emotional terms this time to the electorate up there, who have the choice in this referendum that will take place in just 8 days.
Using the family appeal there. What about people in London now? You mentioned you're in London. Is there a fear among people, Londoners, of the UK getting smaller now? Are people really against that concept?
Of course, it depends who you ask, and in some ways it's a much less emotional thing for people in London and people in the rest of the United Kingdom. They're no less important. Other people could be worrying here. For example, the Labour Party might stand never to be elected again in the Westminster government should they lose the support they have in Scotland. Of course, they have a lot of Scottish members of Parliament. So considerations like that are obviously going to play a part in how people in the rest of the United Kingdom feel about this.
Well, certainly a lot at stake there. Jonathan Sacerdoti, thank you for the update.